Morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Metro Drive. And today we're going to talk about commitment. I coined it the age of the 1 foot inners. And whenever I think about commitment, I think of the story we learned in grade school. I'm quite certain it was fictional, but I'll tell it regardless. We were learning about the Civil War, and obviously the Civil War, one side wore blue, the other side wore gray, and they talked about this soldier who he might have had family on one side or something. He couldn't make up his mind on which side he wanted to be on. So when the day came for battle, he put on gray slacks and a blue top and walked down the middle. Obviously, the soldier died. That's literally what they tell you. They're like, he couldn't make up his mind. No one knew which side he was on. So both sides fired at him. And that's kind of how I feel about people who aren't going to commit. People who can't make, not making up your mind or in the middle of a decision is completely different than not committing to something. Now, I got married when I was 19. And I will be celebrating my 10-year anniversary in August. So I'm an American unicorn, if you will. By all means, my marriage should have failed. Everybody, even my own dad was like super skeptical when I got married. Fresh out of high school, and it just shouldn't have worked. You're too young. All the reasons in the book told you why that wouldn't fail, or why that would fail. Statistically, obviously, divorce is almost exactly at 50%, and the average marriage length is 7 years in America. And it's even, to be fair, I think the only reason that's so high is because you've got the boomers that are they're kind of raising that whole curve. If you were to gauge it just based on millennials or 30-year-olds, the divorce rate's significantly higher under 30. So take that for what it's worth. So I've been married 10 years, and a lot of what I do all in. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes that has really come back to bite me. More often than not, it has it's turned out better. So why don't people commit? And I guess, why are we talking about commitment? A lot of my old teammates, there's a big promotion. A few of them just got their black belts, got promoted. And we were talking about, at Metro Jiu-Jitsu, we were talking about black belts and why people don't make it. And I think just the bigger picture that they could say, whatever, cliche, time, work, money, whatever, family. It's a 10-year, around, give or take, more or less, it's a 10-year event to get a black belt. And so you're essentially looking at a decade, and you can go over an entire, when I started jiu-jitsu to current day, I have gotten married, bought in, I don't know how many homes. I'm on my second child. My wife Amanda, got a college degree. Just pretty much every major life event has happened. And you could have used any one of those of, you know what? I need to take a break, I need to take a break, I need to take a break. But it's how focused and committed are you to that goal? I could never fathom, I personally, guys, it's just me, I couldn't live with myself knowing that, I stopped at blue belt, or stopped at purple. And then, every time, I would wake up every morning and be like, man, you quit. There's no other way to put it, you quit. I said on a podcast, people want to talk about, people come in, they oh, I don't have time, I don't have, whatever. Any excuse you're going to tell me, I've been in. I've literally sold a house, sold my home before I quit jiu-jitsu. I sold my home before I quit jiu-jitsu. They act like we're coaches, we don't know what it's like to have money trouble. At one point in my life, I was burning $1,500 a month. So don't really talk to me about, don't talk to me about how money trouble. It's how committed are you to the black belt and to completing that goal. Even outside jiu-jitsu, how committed are you? Are you willing to make that to take that leap. And as humans, we fear risk. We're fearful people. The what ifs come and get us. I was reading a really, really good article about why people are afraid of commitment. Most obvious one is their fear of making the wrong choice. And the short answer is, if you are paralyzed and make no decision, then you're definitely, you can't make the right choice if you don't make any decision. You will never make the right choice by not making a decision. It's like, I want to get the right answer, so I'm just not going to answer. That's the wrong answer. This was more so speaking in relationships, but another reason their fear of commitment is fear of missing out or fear of something better. They're talking about their relationships, so, I don't want to commit, I don't want to marry this girl or this guy or whoever, because what if there's something better? The solution to that, and the article did a really good job of talking about it, was by playing that game and fear of, what if something better comes along, that a lot of times you forfeit it. I was reading this book, it was a really dry read. I finished almost every book. The irony of this, talking about commitment, I know. It's a really dry book, I think, called The Paradox of Choice. It was a dry read. But they, did statistical analysis of things like how many times, if you're searching for a closed parking spot, how many times you should circle before you would have already missed the opportunity. It's like, well, if I go around 8 times, after you've already passed it, you missed the spot, and that's people's fear of commitment. I'm fearful of something better, and holding out for the best possible choice, you miss the best possible choice. And so now it's too late. So now it's like, I get targeted for these memes and stuff on Facebook, but it's like all of these guys, they're making jokes now, right? They're making jokes about there's nobody on the market for me. It's just I'm just going to be a stepdad, or, somebody's, it's like, bro, probably because you were looking for whatever. Yeah, you probably had the best girl had you been willing to commit to it, but now you lost her. It's like that typical cliche sad story. Another big reason, which kind of touched on, was people are too busy to commit. You're not too busy, you're just not prioritizing to something. I don't hear people say, I'm too busy to work. I'm too busy to work. Well, what are you busy doing? You're too busy to go out and make money so you can eat? People find a way to make time to work. They might complain about it, but they make time because it's important. It's a necessity to live. And then the main reason is regret. What if I do something or another reason is regret. What if I do something I regret? Guys, more often you are going to miss opportunity by not committing. Now, when I signed up for Jiu-Jitsu, and I knew of it, we talked about this on the podcast, I knew very shortly in, not only was I committed to getting a black belt, but I wanted to open an academy. And so that focus, and I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. This is, and I even talked to a few people about it. They knew what my goal was. And when that time came along, our instructor, he put me with Coach Muhammad. He's like, you guys should get together. I know you're both looking to open. Bam. There was no question. It was in line with my focus. It was in line with what we want to do. And the opportunity was too good to pass up. What would you say? I mean, if you were like, well, yeah, I know I've been wanting to open a school for a decade. I know I've been wanting to do this, but I just don't want to make the wrong choice. Your mind won't even work like that. So you miss more opportunity than you regret. Yes, you want to make decisions, get as much information as possible to make an informed decision, but when it comes time to pull the trigger, pull the friggin' trigger. You're gonna miss more opportunity you're gonna miss more opportunities than you're gonna regret. So I can't think of Coach Muhammad who's running through. He does have some people he started with that got their black belts. He's actually got quite a few, I think 4 or 5. I can't think of anybody we started within the same month that still train. And we have some people that came after me, they got black belts, but just every reason in the book, man. So if you're going to be committed to something, you need to focus on it, think about it, and again, I'll write that down. Write it down. If you're with a girl or a guy right now, and you know like this is where you want to be, commit to it. Start making plans to be with them the rest of your life. If you're in a martial arts jiu-jitsu academy, what are you there for? You're there for a reason. You might as well get a black belt. Commit to it now. Make up your mind that whatever comes in the next decade, you're going to train jiu-jitsu. If you want to, whatever your goal is, if you want to, wherever you want to be in your company or open a company, commit to, no matter what, I'm going to work at this. Commitment, we all hate those flaky people. People who make plans and then bail on them, or people who will not make plans with you because they want the option. I got family, and it irks the daylights out of me when I'm like, hey, so what are we doing? I don't know, and like they won't make plans in case something better pops up, and so it's like I know right then I'm the backup. Like I'm the backup in case their night gets dull, and then they want to hang out. Well, all right, I guess whatever. I'll be the backup, but just commit to some plans. If I'm super dull, you make plans with me and I'm dull, you don't ever have to hang out with me again. I'd like to think I'm not dull, but I know a lot of people would disagree with that. So, guys, that's my talk about commitment. I've always been the jumping in the pool type guy. If you put one foot in and one foot out, it's just not. No great accomplishments, no great goals were ever achieved by just dipping your big toe in the water. You gotta jump in. You gotta dive in. I think Steve Harvey refers to it as jumping out of the plane. That's it. That's the Metro Drive, guys. If you have any questions, you can hit us up. Our website's metrojj.com, and I will see you guys on the mats.